If you clicked on this video, it's probably because you're looking for a new and consistent way to make money online without any fancy degrees, crazy skills, or special talents. Whether that's the case or you're just curious how people of all ages are making money online, I got you. Amazon Online Arbitrage has absolutely taken off the past few years during the e-commerce boom, but I get it. Finding good information on how to actually do it the right way can be super difficult with all the gurus popping up on social media. It's very easy to tell yourself that Amazon Online Arbitrage is too hard or too saturated and not give it the chance it deserves. That's exactly why I started this video, to give you guys an easy to follow step-by-step guide to start your very own Amazon business or side hustle that'll pay you for years. But I know what you're thinking. Why should you actually listen to me? When I was 22 years old, I took my own Amazon business from zero to over $150,000 profit in less than a year. And I want to give you guys real, honest, and actionable advice without shoving a paid course down your throat. I want to say a massive thank you guys for clicking on this video, as well as a big congrats for taking the first steps into getting started in the world of making money online and e-commerce. But most importantly, grab a pencil and paper and take notes, because at the end of this video, it's time to start taking massive action. So let's get right into it, guys. The only Amazon Online Arbitrage guide you'll ever need for beginners, an entire full step-by-step walkthrough, everything you guys need to know to get started. And first things first, I'm making this super actionable and step-by-step, in that these first couple steps you guys need to do can really be done just within like the next 72 hours. Tons of beginners will procrastinate for weeks, if not months, getting started with this stuff, and that ends up costing them so much money here. So we're going to go into how the business model works, the steps to actually start your business, the different shipping supplies you need. A ton of beginners are really confused by that, the different software tools you need, as well as the actual ungating process. You might have heard online that ungating is super hard in 2025. It's not true whatsoever, even if you're a complete beginner starting from scratch part-time, as well as how to actually source your first couple winning products using SellerAmp and Keepa, and a bunch of sourcing tips. A lot of people gatekeep online, so make sure you guys watch this entire video here. I'll show you guys some sauce haven't really seen anyone else share out there, as well as how to actually create your first shipments using Boxum, the entire shipment process, labeling, all the different shipping stuff, everything you need with that. So to start off here, what is Amazon Online Arbitrage and how does it work? Is it the same thing as private labels, the same thing as wholesale, same thing as Amazon FBA, right? So Amazon Online Arbitrage is by far the simplest and easiest way to get started selling on Amazon. It's the process of buying discounted name brand products, so literally brands you already know, brands you probably have in your house, at a discount online for big retail websites like Kohl's, Walmart, and Target, to flip for a profit on Amazon. So the nice thing is we don't have to run any ads, create our own products, buy stuff from China, none of that. So this is different than Amazon private label and Amazon wholesale. Private label being when you buy stuff from China and then create your own brand and create your own listing on Amazon. With Online Arbitrage, we're not doing any of that. So we don't have to wait for the items to get here from China. We don't have to do any copywriting. We don't have to spend a bunch of money on ads to get traffic to our listing. And we don't need like 10 to 20 grand minimum, which is what you need to start private label or wholesale. Wholesale being buying name brand products in bulk from manufacturing distributors in hundreds at a time or even thousands at a time, literally the minimum order quantities you need for wholesale. So private label and wholesale are really just way too expensive and complicated for beginners. You need like 10 to 20 grand. Online Arbitrage you can do for home, just buying and shipping products directly to you from Kohl's, Walmart, Target, then shipping them off in bulk to the Amazon FBA warehouse. Once you package and label them up yourself, you can get started with like 1 to 2K. It's the perfect side hustle for beginners, so you can eventually build into a big business the way I have, literally going from 0 to 7 figures in just 1 year here. So that's how Online Arbitrage works. Online Arbitrage is a method of selling via Amazon FBA. Amazon FBA being how you actually sell the products right there. Meanwhile, Online Arbitrage, private label, wholesale, basically like what way of getting products. You're doing FBA, shipping products off in bulk to the FBA warehouse right there, stands for Fulfillment by Amazon right here. So now how do you actually start your business? So this is where beginners will get tripped up here, and that there's all these little things you need to know. We're going to show you guys everything you need to know in this video here. So to actually start your business, all you need to do is go to sellercentral.amazon.com to create a seller account right here. All we need to do here, guys, is go ahead here and hit sign up. Then we go ahead and create an Amazon seller account right there. Contrary to popular belief, you do not need an LLC to get started selling on Amazon's platform. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know your personal situation, but Amazon does not require it. So all you need to do, guys, is go over to sellercentral.amazon.com and hit sign up to create your seller account. It does cost $40 per month, but that gives you literally access to Amazon's Amazon Seller Central platform, as well as the Amazon Seller app you want to get on your phone right away to sell to hundreds of millions of customers in the States, or, you know, if you're in another country as well. And then we can see here More than 70% of Amazon sellers generate their first sales within less than 60 days. So I want to make sure all of you guys watching this are able to do that in the next couple of weeks here as well. So you want to get your Amazon seller account set up ASAP right there. In terms of naming your store, a lot of people will kind of trip up like what you actually name your Amazon store. Doesn't really matter. Think about it. When you've bought a product on Amazon, you never looked at the name of the seller on there. So you can just use ChatGPT, right? So we just go on ChatGPT and say, give me 10 generic 3-word business names for my Amazon store I am starting here, right? And the nice thing is you can literally change this as much as you want, so it doesn't really matter. Right here, right when see, bunch of different ideas right there you can go ahead and use right there. Nice and easy. So don't sleep on that. Using ChatGPT and just using AI is so helpful for a lot of this stuff as well here. So get that open as quick as possible. Amazon is going to make you verify your info for a day or two right here. So it might take like, 1 to 3 days for that to get set up. So get on that ASAP right there, guys. In terms of shipping supplies, so really don't overcomplicate this, guys. There are some basic shipping supplies you're going to need right away from the get-go, and some of them are free, which is cool too as well. So the first one's going to be these F&SKU labels on Amazon. So you can literally just search Amazon F&SKU labels right here. These are the individual barcodes that only for FBA shipments you're going to put over either the poly bag or just over the barcode on a specific product here of like price tag right there. So you can get these nice and easy. If you want to do these F&SKU labels, you are going to need a printer right here. You don't need a thermal printer like this. I do like the idea of having one if budget permits it. Personally, though, when I got started, I didn't have much money, so I was just going to the college printer and using these 30-up label papers just in the library right there. So if you want to use an old school printer, you need to get these 30-up label paper right here. You can just get them at Staples or Walmart or just Amazon right here. Or if you want to kind of fast track and do it the easy way from the get-go, you can use the thermal printer right here. I like the roller one. I like the Polono one as well. And that's what these F&SKU labels are going to print with. And then you can print the shipping labels too. I'll show you guys the shipping labels in a sec right there as well. The shipping labels you can actually get completely free from UPS right here. So if you just Google, or I'll have this document linked in the description so you get all the links from that too as well. So you can check that out, link in the description right there. You can just Google UPS free shipping supplies right here, and you can order these shipping labels. So these are going to be these shipping labels that go on the outside of the box after you create the shipments and box them right there. Right, they're completely free. I believe you can do one per month just on the UPS website, or you can email them and get a bunch of them. So it's pretty funny. They do like giant toilet paper rolls of shipping labels right there. I think they're 4.25 by 5.5 right there as well. In terms of boxes, so there's different types of boxes you want to use for FBA and FBM. So FBA obviously being shipping your products off in bulk to the Amazon warehouse. Meanwhile, FBM being fulfilling products directly to the customers individually. That's really only a thing when you're doing, back to school type of products or seasonal types of products, and Q4, later this year, November, December, when there's a ton of demand in a short period of time. For the most part, you want to be doing FBA right here. And that's going to be these pen gear boxes from Walmart. There's other sizes too, but the biggest ones you can use, because the limit is 25 inches on any given side, are going to be 24 by 16 by 19 ones right here from Walmart. There's some other sizes I'm sure that's suggested on the website here as well, like the brown and red ones, and the brown and green ones too, right? There's smaller ones, as well as for FBM orders, there's a bunch of different box sizes in Walmart. 12 by 8 by 10s tend to fit almost everything right there. So these would be used for products like, Stanley cups and stuff like that. I've sold a bunch of those in the past that need a little bit more of a box. For stuff like clothing, I love the idea of using these gray or just black poly mailers here for FBM orders. And then for FBA, you need the clear ones, because that's what you're going to put your FBA items in, and then the F&SKU labels on the outside here. And I recommend just getting a variety pack right here, because FBA or FBA prep, you just need to be a little bit more organized right there, but FBM is going directly to the customer right there. So that's nice and easy there, guys. So we need those labels, both for the F&SKUs and the shipping labels, the label printer if you want, or the 30-up label paper right there. And then we get the FBA and FBM boxes for Walmart, and the poly bags, the clear ones with suffocation warning for FBA stuff, just a variety pack from Amazon, as well as for poly mailers, you can just use these ones from Amazon for those individual FBM orders right there. Nice and easy. So that's the shipping supplies you need to know. In terms of softwares, this is actually a lot less complicated than most people think it is. Tons of beginners think you need a ton of complicated and expensive software to sell on Amazon. You actually only need 3 softwares to run the entire business, though, and that's going to be SellerAmp, which is our Chrome extension that shows you the exact net profit on a specific product, as well as Keepa, which is good for product analysis. We're going to walk through how to use all these as well. And then Boxum, which is good for listing, shipping, and managing your analytics right there. So kind of like the back end of the business right here. We can go to like an Amazon product page right here and take a look. So for example, this is the SellerAmp Chrome extension. All this you want to do through Google Chrome, guys, which is going to show like the exact net profit on a specific product after shipping, fees, sales tax, literally everything. So SellerAmp does a bunch of the heavy lifting to tell you what items are profitable today, right? And then Keepa is actually going to show us if items are profitable over time. So it literally aggregates the supply, demand, and price action over time on every product so we can see how that listing's actually performed over time here. Just take a look at the Keepa chart for the historical data right here. So SellerAmp and Keepa are both $20 per month, and then Boxem is $50 per month. I would recommend using those right away from the get-go, especially because you can get a free trial of SellerAmp and Boxem on our websites right there, and you can take a look and get going with those. A lot of people recommend more complicated and expensive software there that's even like outdated, but I'm gonna keep it real with you guys from people who are actually doing this every day, helping people do this every day. SellerAmp, Keepa, Boxem is what you want to use right away from the get-go right there. So you want to get those basic software set up. The next step is going to be the ungating process. So you might have seen somewhere on the internet that ungating is harder, it doesn't work in 2025. That's not true whatsoever. Back when I got started, ungating was actually hard, and it was something we didn't really know how to do. But luckily now it's really easy in 2025. And basically ungating and gating is the idea that Amazon wants to avoid fake products being sold on their platform. So they make you prove that the products you're selling are legit. Why some people think that ungating doesn't work is because they don't understand that getting declined by Amazon's system is completely normal, and you just keep sending that same information into Amazon and they'll go ahead and approve you. Like I've submitted the same thing sometimes like 8 or 10 times for an ungate. In fact, my first ungate I think was like 4 denials right there. You just keep submitting it right there. And basically Amazon just wants you to prove that the items you're selling are legit and that they're being bought from a legit wholesaler or, you know, the brand specifically, or just a big retailer right there. Don't worry about like invoices. Order confirmation emails work completely fine in 2025. If you don't believe me, just go ahead and do it and it'll work. And then you'll see that it's a thing. And there's a bunch of stuff you can sell right away from the get-go too with no documentation needed. So say you want to get ungated for like the entire grocery category right here. All you need to do is go on Target here. Big retail websites like Kohl's, Walmart, Target, any of the brand websites specifically will all work for ungating. Definitely Costco, BJ, Sam's Club, literally the biggest sellers of name brand products in the world. We just want to search up like a Yogi tea item right here, and then we just want to go ahead and copy this and go ahead and plug it in on Amazon here. And then we find, as long as there's a matching listing, which we can see, we can do one of these multi-packs right here, or just these guys right here, and we can go ahead and buy 10 of those. Then immediately once you buy 10 of those, you're going to have the order confirmation email. You need to download that as a PDF and then send that into Amazon titled something professional like Target invoice or Yogi Tea invoice, or and then the date or something like that, right? And then just understand, guys, it's completely normal to get declined 5 to 10 times per submission. The grocery category tends to work really quick. Sometimes you're asked to do both the category and the brand, so those would be 2 separate applications. You can use the same stuff for that though. And then what you can also do is, once the item comes in, if you're getting declined a couple times, just add in more purchase documentation to that PDF. You can just find a PDF combiner on Google, like a picture of the product, a picture of the shipping label. Maybe you go into the store and you take a picture of the product there too as well, and just make it very clear that the items you're selling are legit there, right? So any of the items you guys see in this video could be ungated via, the websites you see me finding them on right there. Don't believe stuff online where you see like, oh, ungating doesn't work because someone got declined twice. I'm here telling you getting declined is completely normal. Don't look at the reasoning they give. Just keep submitting. And if you want a couple really easy ones that'll approve super quick, Yogi Tea for the grocery category from Target, or And One Clothing, choosing something cheap right there from Walmart. But long term, you're pretty much just only going to ungate something when you find it profitable. Don't see it as like a big barrier, for example, right there, right? So luckily, there are a bunch of auto ungate brands you can do too right away from the get-go here. So I have a big list for you guys here as well. So I'll leave it down below in the description. You can download it completely free here of auto ungate ASINs. Now, not all of this stuff is going to be auto ungate, but some stuff definitely is going to be. Some people think that none of it's auto ungate, but that's because they didn't actually do it correctly. What you need to do, guys, is go in on your Amazon account once it's open and plug in like any Stafford ASIN or any Danner listing or any Athletic Works ASIN, and then hit request approval and apply to sell. And a lot of these are going to automatically let you list it right there. Now, do I think you should go through all 2,000 of these? No, because that would be a waste of time. If you ever found one of these profitably, you'd auto ungate it then, right? But I do like the idea of going in just to prove that, I'm saying stuff that's true. Go in and plug in like a Stafford listing, a Danner listing, Athletic Works, stuff like that. You can go ahead and get those in right there. For the exact step-by-step here, just go on Seller Central and hit add a product, paste the ASIN, and go ahead and hit apply to sell, and you get approved for those pretty quick right there. Not everything is going to be auto ungate. Once you sell like 5 to 10K, a lot more stuff starts to become auto ungate as well right there too, which expedites the process. And just as your account grows more age and more trust, more stuff becomes auto-ungate. But please, guys, do not see ungating as this big and unattainable thing. If it didn't work, there would be no sellers on a lot of these listings. If you can apply for something, you can get approved for it. Certain big brands like Nike, Adidas, Puma, and Lego are currently what's called hard gated for new sellers. So if you go in and list a product and it says copy listing, it means you can't apply and get approved for it. So don't worry about those here. But that's the basics of the ungating process here. Don't see it as a big thing. And now let's jump on to product research. So let's talk about product research and how to actually find a couple winning products. A lot of people have this completely wrong, especially complete beginners. So make sure you guys watch this entire section. And if you have any questions, let me know down below in the comments. I love helping you guys start or grow your business. And make sure you hit a little like and subscribe to. We're on the road to 100K subs as well. So we're going to take a look at a couple winning products. We're also going to go through the best strategy to find winning products if you're a complete beginner. And we're going to go through a bunch of really important product research tips a lot of people just don't share online that I want you guys to know that's going to help you actually find a ton of winning products. And if you feel like you've done some online arbitrage product research before and stuff hasn't worked, watch this entire section and I'm going to show you exactly why. And then we're going to go through the process of actually listing and shipping your inventory off to Amazon with Boxem for the final step as well. So we're going to be hanging out in Google Chrome here. We'll take a look at a couple winning products and we'll show you how to actually find winning products from here too as well. So starting off, taking a look at this item right here. So first off, we can see the buy box in this product is $42.50 right here. So this is where we want to be as a seller, is in the buy box, which is basically like the buy now option here on Amazon. So this seller is currently in the buy box right here. We can see this seller does not actually ship from Amazon. It ships themselves, which means this is a merchant fulfilled seller, which is not a bad thing. But I automatically know that I can price above them as an FBA seller when I see that, because FBA gets more buy box share at higher prices because it's a better customer experience to get something in 3 days rather than a week. Amazon understands that customers value that, so they give more buy box share to FBA sellers right here. You can do FBA and FBM at the same time on the same account here as well, so don't see FBM as like a bad thing. If you see other people FBM something, it means that you can probably FBM it too in 99% of cases right here. But personally, I want to maximize profits, so I'm thinking selling FBA and pricing this stuff higher here. The profit doesn't necessarily change between FBA and FBM, but because I can sell an item higher FBA, that does increase the profit right there. So we can see this item's buy boxing at 42 here. Now this item has a bunch of reviews. That's not really something to worry about. As long as it has like 50 plus reviews, it's definitely selling right here. But what's really important is if this listing is actually profitable. So I hear beginners all the time say like, I can't find winning products, or the numbers aren't working on stuff, when they've actually found a ton of winning products. You found a ton of stuff that sells quick. Pretty much everything sells super well on Amazon. But the hard part is making the numbers work and actually finding those listings profitable. So that's what I'm going to show you guys how to do in this video here, right? So if we take a look at these, they're buy boxing at 42 here. And then over on Nordstrom Rack here, we can see they're going for $19.97 here. So we plug in $19.97 here, we can see plus 43. Now, you guys have to understand this is after shipping, fees, and everything, but you do need to add your sales tax in, right? So I go ahead and add in sales tax here because I have it at in 0 in my seller amp setting. So I don't have any sales tax in my seller amp setting. Some people do that. I like just manually add it in to make it accurate here. And I can say plus 8.25%. And we can see that took the ROI down a little bit. But certain websites like Walmart and Home Depot will take your reseller certificate, which will increase your margins and make you pay no sales tax here, right? So basic winning product criteria, guys, is going to be $3 plus profit per unit, and then a 30% plus ROI after shipping, fees, sales tax, literally everything here, right? So you want to make sure you look up your state sales tax and add it in. So say, you're in Texas, 8.25, you want to just add that and make it 100% accurate right there. So this one was 19.97 plus, let's say we live in Texas here. We'll add that in right there. Boom, there we go, right? But how do I tell how fast a listing actually sells? And that's where what's called BSR, aka sales rank, comes into play. So that's how fast the listing sells along with estimated sales. You want to make sure the listings you're taking a look at have under a 200K BSR, so the lower the sales rank, the better, and above 30 estimated sales per month. Now we can see this listing does say suspected IP issues here. However, when you take a look at the Keepa chart, you want to see if there's any like big drop-offs in sellers here. And we can see in this case, that's not the case right there. So there's not any IP issues with Calvin Klein. But Seller Amp shows us if this listing is actually profitable today, which we can see that it is, even after everything here. And then Keepa shows us if a listing's actually been profitable over time. So when you initially get the Keepa Chrome extension, you want to add it to your Google Chrome, similar to what you did with Seller Amp. So you can see everything right here. It's going to show these 3 charts here. Personally, I'd recommend clicking sub ranks right here. So you only see the top chart and the bottom chart right here. That middle chart's pretty much useless in my opinion here. The bottom chart shows the seller count, aka the competition, and the top chart shows the buy box price and the demand over time. Now, Keepa shows how well a listing's done ever since it was added on Amazon. So in this case, literally like 10 years ago, right? But we want to take a look at the 3-month data for the most part here, right? And now I get asked all the time, like, how much competition is too much competition on a specific product? And truth be told, that actually doesn't really matter, because there's great listings with 60 sellers that sell insanely quick, and there's terrible listings with 2 sellers that sell really slow. And the way we tell if something sells really quick is going to be the sales rank, right, as well as the offer count movement. So the seller count movement on the bottom chart, we want to make sure we see a lot of activity. We want to see people selling out, people restocking, it trending down or being steady, and the price, the buy box price on the top, either being steady or going up. So we can see it was around like 43 pretty often here, and then it went up right there past couple weeks or so, yeah, like to 49 right there. And then the competition pretty much around like 5 to 6, and then went down to like 3 recently right here. We can see someone just dropped down to 43, so it'd actually be a chance to price this a little bit higher here, because we can see, yeah, FBA would probably price more like 44 there, right, because it's an FBM seller in the buy box right there. It's like tips and tricks you pick up on over time. But we can see this listing's been profitable over time, and it's profitable today, and the competition isn't shooting up, the price isn't shooting down, so this is not a bad item whatsoever, right? So let's take a look at another winning product example. So if we take a look at these guys right here, these Gap hoodies, they have a ton of reviews here, 1,000 reviews, right? Buy box at 30 here, right? And then the max cost here is at 15. So this is where we need to be in order to be profitable on SellerAmp here. And I can see over on the Gap website, they're going for 16 bucks right here. So if we take a look at 16 bucks right here, right? We can see that's not quite profitable there. It's only 20% ROI. And this is where so many beginner sellers go wrong, is they find stuff like this on a website that's not quite there, but it's pretty close, it sells quick, and then they just scroll away to another website instead of looking for additional discounts to make these items good. So for example, on Gap, if I scroll down here, I can see there's actually this 20% email sign-up code where I can take another 20% off this that makes this listing even better, even cheaper right here. So if I take off 20% from this, now I have a 50% ROI here. Even if I add in sales tax here, right, to get the exact numbers, you can also check your cart total when checking out to get that as well here. It's still a 40% ROI. And that was basically a hidden item that becomes good with that email sign-up code right here. And the nice thing is, I'm sure you're thinking, okay, how do I get unlimited of these here? Can I just only use it once? And that kind of defeats the purpose. No, you can just put a period in the middle of your email and consider it a new one. Crazy that works. Or you can set up what's called a catch-all email via Namecheap as well, which is going to let you get unlimited emails nice and easy right there. So now, right, this becomes even better. And I have another trick up my sleeve. If I go over to cardbear.com, I can purchase discounted gift cards here, which will give me another 10 to 20% off here, right? Where if I buy an $100 gift card for 90 bucks, I just added 10% to my margin right there. So now if I take off 10% from this, it becomes even better. $7 profit, 56% ROI, not bad whatsoever there. So it gets even better, and that's going to be the name of the game with online arbitrage product research. Is very, very rarely will you find stuff good on the website at the advertised price. You typically have to make it good. Now, the Calvin Klein item was actually good at the advertised price on the website, but I'd always want to check if there's rewards, if there's discounted gift cards I can use for Nordstrom as well. And once we find a couple more winning products here, I'm going to go line by line on all these different hacks you can use to lower your buy costs right here. Now, you've seen a couple examples of winning products, and you're probably thinking, okay, how I should get started with this stuff is I should just go to Nordstrom Rack and go to Gap and go to Target and look through their clearance sections to see what I can make money on. That's called manual sourcing, and it's a complete waste of time if you're a beginner. What makes way more sense is looking through the other storefronts of other sellers using what's called the storefront stalking method to find only proven listings. If someone's selling something, they're not doing it for no reason. They're doing it because they're making money, and we can see on these Keepa charts that that's 100% the case. They got great offer count movement, so this listing moves way quicker than those Calvin Klein tank tops. So these sellers in this listing, they know what they're talking about, and they're going to have other good stuff in their storefronts. So you want to be doing storefront stalking when you're a beginner to find other examples of proven ASINs we know folks are making money on that we can go ahead and track down profitably from to there. So that's exactly why I found these listings. And that's actually how we're going to find some other winning products here too. So all I need to do is scroll down to other sellers here, guys, and open up the sellers that I can see are making money. So yeah, like 237 reviews here, right? We can see 83 reviews right there, right? 34 reviews right here. So now we can see these sellers and take a look at what else they're carrying and go ahead and track down other products here that we know are selling quick that we can go ahead and see if we can make any money on here, right? Same thing with these Gap hoodies. We can scroll down here and take a look at what these other sellers got here. Find the sellers with like 25 plus reviews. Yeah, 174 reviews right there, right? And we can see what all they got here, right? So we can see right there, just getting going. Yeah, 16 reviews, not amazing right there. So it's like some newer sellers on this one right here. So we take a look at there, right? So yeah, we go ahead and see all these different brands they carry immediately in their storefront here, all these different categories they carry here, and then say I want to filter into like only Tommy Hilfiger listings or only Brooks Brothers or only J. Crew. J. Crew's a pretty popular auto ungate here. We can go ahead and do that, right? So say we take a look, 166K rank, we can go ahead and hit the Amazon button here to open that up. Same thing with this guy here, 13K rank. Go ahead and open this up here as well. 186, boom, let's take a look at that. 88K rank, boom, let's take a look at that. Right? We see these other brands too, and don't think like, okay, what am I ungated in? No, like for example, Tommy Hilfiger is a gated brand. You can get ungated, right? J. Crew's an auto ungate brand, so you don't need to. We just want to see if any of the stuff's profitable and makes sense to grab here. So it's a little bit higher sales rank wise, so probably not going to worry about those guys. We can take a quick glance at them because it is in the 1% here, right? But that other stuff's super high sales rank here, right? We see these other stars. Let's see like Mercedes, AMG, Petronas. It's a common beginner brand, right? And pretty quickly here, you start to learn other brand ideas and other category ideas to go out and take a look at. And that's why I love storefront stalking, is because it introduces you to so much new stuff. So for example, this listing doesn't have a BSR, but it has 400 reviews. This could totally make sense here, right? This listing is 61K rank. You know, it's got an FBM buy box here. There's a little bit of spread between the FBM stars and the FBA stars. We can take a look at that. And now, so the order of operations is, you guys have seen a couple examples of winning products here. We're going to find some other ones here in a sec that we can make numbers work on. The order of operations is then go into their storefront, see what else these other sellers are carrying, then Google those products, see what websites carry them, and then see if the numbers work and make the numbers work, most importantly here. So taking a look on these guys here. So let's see. So we're here at these Tommy briefs or whatever here, right? So we can see there's a bunch of other colors and sizes here. So my first step for that, guys, I want to go to the variations tab on Keepa and see what variations are moving the quickest and the best here. So for example, you do want to take a second, organize your Keepa column similar to mine here. It's one of the things I do with my coaching guys immediately when they join, is make sure that looks perfect here. Very, very important, right? So we can see, taking a look here, this doesn't have much movement. This has a little bit of movement. It's trending up a little bit though, but 8 to 10 over like 3 weeks isn't that much, honestly here. So let's see, like at 40, we can take a look at these guys here. So let's see. So go ahead. Then we just want to go ahead and plug these in on Google here, right? So just want to hit this Google button to see what websites carry them. Most products, for the most part, really only come from one place. So for example, like this looks pretty good here. This is a slightly different product. We can look these up as well, though. You always find deals just looking on Google Shopping here, but pretty much for the most part, most products really only come from one website here. So let's see. So these are 25.5 here. So this is pretty close, and here's where most beginner sellers would quit on this item, but not us, right? We need to see if there's any other discounts available, because we know we don't really find items good. We make items good. And we can see, okay, there's a 30% off here, so we would want to plug that in and see if that works here. And, or I know there's also a 20% code. So if that plugs in, this becomes good too here, right? So we want to try either of those in the cart, see if either of them works. If that one does, boom, not bad right there. $7 profit, 33% ROI, potential to price higher too on that. And let's check out these guys as well too, because this looks like a similar deal, similar item. It's common color to make sense. People would like this as well. Let's go ahead and plug this in just on Amazon and see if there's an Amazon listing for these here. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, wow. Here we go. Yeah. Okay. Check that out. Cotton Classic right here. Yeah. 4-pack right there. Right. So let's see what we got on these guys here, y'all. So let's see. Wow. Yeah. 54 right here. So we plug in 25.5. We don't even need that extra coupon code right here. We can see it's 54. It's an FBM star on the buy box. So now I can price higher right there. Yeah. Probably price more like 55, 56 here. So we plug that in. Boom. 56. Not bad here. Some people would think, okay, crap, Amazon's on this, right? Is it still a good listing? And we can see here, yeah, even though Amazon, yeah, right here, like Amazon's on it right there, right? They're not getting buy box, so it doesn't matter. The lowest price doesn't matter. It's all where the buy box is going there. That's not bad whatsoever, y'all. Let's see. So we can take a look at these guys here. This is a great looking Keepa chart, right? We can see competition's trending way down here, right? Price is nice and steady, trending up a little bit, right? So now we just want to go ahead and hit the Google button on seller and see where these are carried here. Let's see. So 28.35 here. So let's see. So 28.35. So this is close, right? We add in sales tax, though. We're not quite there, right? Yeah, like a 16% ROI right there, $5 profit. Is anyone pricing higher on this? Not really on Keepa. So now what I need to do is see if there's any sort of coupon code here or anything. So what I'll typically do is I'll Google coupon codes. I'll see if there's anything shown at the bottom like there was on Tommy. And I like these free cashback and Chrome and coupon Chrome extensions like Capital One Shopping and Coupon Birds. You definitely want to download as well. We can see on Coupon Birds, there's this extra 10 code where if that 10% code works here, right now we would take off 10% from this, right? And now it becomes a winning item. That's pretty much good enough right there. $8 profit. It's a t-shirt. It's small. It's easy to ship right there, right? But that only works if that 10% code works. And I don't know if it does, but you plug that in, see if it works and everything here, right? So let's see. These guys are 30. It's an FBM buy box here, right? So I know I could probably price higher FBA, right? Taking a look at this Keepa chart. Great looking Keepa chart here as well. We can see, boom, price it up to 33 there. FBA. Right now our max cost here is 16. So we go ahead and plug this in on Google here. We can see, boom, yeah, 15.9 right there. So 15.9 right there, $6 profit, 38% ROI. Excellent trend with the competition having gone way down right there. Absolutely the type of listing I'm looking to take a look at right there. So that's not bad whatsoever here, guys. Right? You can see how, the stuff's not bad here, guys. If you're looking for discounts and coupon codes, a lot of winning products start to show themselves, and that's where beginners go wrong is they think you find good items. You don't find good items. Sometimes you do, but you mainly make items good, and that's why the nice thing is like most websites have one or two tips and tricks that make the markets work, and the nice thing is you guys have seen some of those here already, Gap especially, Nordstrom Rack, etc. here, and now you know the best discounts of those websites forever right here, right? So let's go to the variations tab on these guys here, see if anything's got good offer count movement here. We can see, yeah, these look like super blocky. Don't like those. Maybe here at 24, right? We can take a quick glance. These, they got to be going for like 10 here on Google. Yeah, so we can see 32. Definitely not what I'm looking for here, right? And that's the name of the game, guys. You just want to, roll through here, see what you can make money on. And literally, you've seen a couple examples of winning procs here. These seller storefronts, you can take a look at these winning items and go ahead and find other stuff from there, for example. And that's the exact name of the game with online arbitrage product research. Now, when you go ahead and get started sourcing on your own here this week, right now that you got SellerAmp and Keepa, I'm going to show you guys the box and shipment processing in a sec. Here's a checklist of discounts to look for on each website to identify which one or two tips and tricks make the numbers work on some of these sites. So I got this discounts guide. It's basically a checklist to go through on each website, right? To figure out, okay, the number one mistake beginners make is expecting items to be profitable at the advertised price on these different websites. Sometimes they'll happen, but oftentimes it won't. Typically, you'll make items good using stuff like the coupons via the free extensions like Capital One Shopping and Coupon Birds, evergreen email account and text signup codes like you saw on Gap, digging around for coupons on Google, literally Google Shop WSS coupons. You can ask customer service, Shop WSS, a good website, literally Google that and you'll see them. Talking to other sellers in the community is a great thing as well. Discounted gift cards from Cardbear and Top Cashback are really helpful too for lowering your buy cost. A lot of people think that's a complicated process. It's actually super easy. Always checking out through an account on these different websites to get different rewards programs like Kohl's Cash, using a reseller certificate that you can get from your state's website, mainly for retail arbitrage and wholesale, but occasionally for OA as well, right? Getting on a listing quick, merchant fulfilled, especially items that are above $20 but below £1 is really good, especially holiday sales too. Like there's a ton of huge discounts that happen on these coming holidays. It's like Mother's Day, Memorial Day, Father's Day, 4th of July coming up the next couple months. Stacking these opportunities together when there's a sale going on or just in general here. So like combining a coupon code and a discounted gift card or waiting for a sale to turn on, then combining the coupon that actually works and does combine with it. Each website's pretty unique, but you learn them, right? So what I do with my coaching guys is just tell them like, here's how to make this website good. Here's how to make this website good. Here's how to make this website good. And it just really like simplifies the process right there as well. And then keeping good organized SellerAmp Google Sheets. So when you find a listing that's close to being good, but it's not quite there and it sells quick, or you find a listing that's really good, but it's currently out of stock, use the SellerAmp Google Sheets feature to one-click export, organize those. Nice and easy right here. Say like this listing was good, but it was out of stock. We could one-click export this out to an out-of-stock spreadsheet in SellerAmp right there, which really speeds up that process, as well as smart repricing, pricing above FBM sellers when you're an FBA seller, or when you're an FBM seller, just matching the buy box price, and then using a tax-free prep center to avoid sales tax too. Once you're ready to sell like 500 units per month, you can get what's called a tax-free prep center. So you want to do it in a state like Montana, Oregon, Delaware, and New Hampshire that has no sales tax. That way, when you buy a $50 item, instead of paying, 54 and some change, if you live in Texas with that 8% sales tax, you just pay 51 flat because it's all about what state you ship to right there. So that's how the prep center model works and can save you some money right here. And these are all just moats that you can continue to acquire and use to just make it so your profitable items are harder to find for other new sellers that aren't using these discounts right there. And that's the name of the game with online arbitrage right there. Now let's take a look at the entire Amazon FBA shipment process using Boxum. So when you initially get your Boxum account synced to your Amazon account, you can literally do the entire Amazon FBA shipment creation process through Boxum. There's no part required on Amazon Seller Central. You do just have to initially connect your account. It can take a couple hours, sometimes as long as a day, right there to connect your Amazon Seller account. Now you can list products on Amazon. You can do the entire shipment process all through Boxum right here. So your first steps is actually going to be a two-step process for listing stuff FBA. You need to actually list stuff in your account and then create the FBA shipments. For stuff FBM, if you want to FBM some products, it's only, all you have to do is just list the products and then it's live in your account right there and live in your Amazon store. But the FBA process here, the first step, we want to go to list FBA right here. And now we can see the entire Amazon catalog. So you can type in stuff. You want to look up specific items right here. It's lightning quick search compared to our competitors right there. Or you can just go ahead and pull an ASIN right here from Amazon product page right here in Seller Amp, or just using your purchase spreadsheet right there. So say we want to list these guys here, we just plug in that ASIN. And then initially here, this is the first time listing this in my account. So I just go ahead and hit new SKU right here. And now we want to add in all the information for this product right here. So we can add in our buy cost right here. So we pay like 16.5. We can add in our supplier. So we use like JCPenney right there. And then our date purchased right here as well. You can also see the offers for this specific product and set a different price right here as well. I recommend just putting in what it lists here in terms of this initial one right there. And then our condition, it automatically creates our custom SKU right there as well that has our supplier, buy cost, and then a random number Amazon makes us put. Then if it was a product that required expiration date, we would put that in there as well. Now you want to go ahead and hit add listing right here. We can do multiple products per batch and even multiple products in the same shipment or the same box right here. But for this example, we're just going to use one to keep it simple right here. And then this isn't just where you're going to use Boxum for. You can also use Boxum for all the analytics and tracking features once you actually start getting sales as well here too. Then you just want to go ahead and hit submit FBA listings right here. And now each part of the shipping process can take a couple minutes, especially getting it listed in your account can sometimes take like 15 to 30 minutes right here. So we just want to go ahead and wait till this goes ahead and says active right here and it's live within our account. So I'll check in with you guys in a sec. All right, guys, now that that's active, we just want to go ahead and head over to create shipment right here. Now we'll just name our shipment. So let's say like test video right here. Right, April 2025, fulfillment type FBA, ship from origin. This is not the UPS shipping you're going to tend to drop this off at. FBA shipments are almost always UPS right here. But, right, it's going to be your address. Luckily, Amazon knows that you might be shipping stuff out on vacation, so you can change this. So you can add in multiple, et cetera, right there. Shipping method, SPD. And then packaging, labeling, I like to do 2D barcodes right here. I like to do those extra 2D barcodes that go on the outside of the box right there. You can just use normal barcodes if you want. We've personally seen improved results using 2D barcodes right there. So we like using those right there. Auto pricing, personally, in terms of pricing your products, when you're doing FBM, just match the buy box. But with FBA, I like to initially price 25% above the buy box, just so it doesn't, show backordered and price competitively on the listing. But I like to price above, and then once my inventory is actually fully checked in, then I want to price in competitive and just match the buy box or price above the buy box if it's an FBM seller in the buy box right there. Then we just want to go ahead. I like having all of these selected, auto print those FNSKU labels, buy cost input, supplier input, date purchase input, and then we just want to go ahead and hit create shipment right here, and then we want to go ahead and search up that listing right there. Then we want to go ahead and we can see the SKUs out in stock right there. Boom, hit new in stock. Then we just want to do list price right here, so we just listed above, like $50, right about right there. We add our buy cost again, quantity, let's say we do like 10 units right here, then supplier right there, boom, JCPenney as well, date purchased right here, do the same day, and then expiration date not required for this item. Prep category, prep owner, label owner, we just want to do seller, and then Amazon provider prep category right there. We want to go ahead and hit it, add to shipment right here. Then we just want to go ahead and hit continue. We can do multiple products per box, multiple products per batch, everything like that. But in this case, we're just going to do one. Go ahead and hit submit products here. Let's move on to step 2. All right, guys, so now we're here in step 2. This is where we want to actually assign our products to the boxes and tell Amazon how many boxes we're doing, what products go in every box, as well as printing out our FNSKU labels right here. So we just go ahead and hit print FNSKU labels right here, and those are going to be the individuals we can go ahead and add right there. Boom, so we can see those individual barcodes right there. We can go ahead and print out right there as well. Then you can go ahead in other shipment softwares, and you have to do a bunch like drag and drop right here. Personally, I'm actually using bulk assign on box right here, so 10 units per box. If we do one box right here, nice and easy, we could do multiple different box sizes. We can customize our box sizes, change the weights, etc. Do multiple different box sizes by hitting add to box right here, assign different units right there. We can go ahead and just go right here, boom, save and print right there. And then we want to go ahead and hit continue and move on to step 3 right here, nice and easy. All right, guys, so now we can see in step 3 here are 3 shipments right here. One going to Glendale, Arizona, one going to Homestead, Florida, and one going to Clarksville, Tennessee. You always just want to pick the one that's cheapest, honestly. The only time you wouldn't want to do that is if you already had a ton of stock allocated to one warehouse here. So we can just go ahead, boom, Just pick one of these and hit continue right here, just for sake of example here. All right, guys, now we just need to hit confirm placement option, accept shipping charges right here. And now we can finish up the shipment here. So we can go ahead and print the box labels right here. We can go ahead and print the FAQs, or we can just print the UPS and the box labels right here just by hitting print UPS and box labels right here. Want to go ahead and open this up here. Boom, we can see everything that's needed right there, as well as the shipping label right here as well. So both of these go on the outside of the box right there, just right next to each other. And now that's it for the entire FBA shipment process. There's no need to confirm or anything like that. If you do need to cancel, you go ahead and hit cancel right here. And that's the entire shipment process. And all you need to do is just add those FNC labels to the products, pack all the products in the box, and you're good to go right there. And that's the entire shipping process. Then you just drop it off at your local UPS, or you can use pirateship.com to schedule pickups at a discounted rate as well. So congrats on finishing the only Amazon online arbitrage getting started tour you're ever going to need right there. The most important thing, guys, is that you get started and take action on the stuff, because none of this works if you don't. So I really appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. And if you're ever interested in personalized one-on-one help directly from me, I'll leave a link down in the description for my mentorship program application, where you'll get 3 group coaching calls a week. You'll get personal one-on-one access via my personal phone number. You'll be around other Amazon sellers crushing the game. We'll have a one-on-one live sourcing call on Zoom together as well. I'll plug you in on all my favorite coupons, tips, tricks, and strategies. So if you're serious about getting started with online arbitrage, go ahead and take a look at that at the link in the description. Put in your information and apply. We can see if it makes sense to work together. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.